Welcome to the Kool, the Kareem Matthews podcast. I'm Kareem Matthews, and I'm here with my boy, my Ramley, my ace, and we gonna add in now UCSD alumni, Mr. Rodney Lusian. What up, my dude?
One more time for the road, man. One more time for the road.
Nah, pump
Yeah.
that. That might have to be the new intro music.
Uh,
Yeah, nah, we
I,
might have to make that the intro music, man. Yeah, we can get right into that from the fight song. It is. They made me proud, man. I was proud of how they, you know what I'm saying, of how they fought. It was a tough game on so many angles, but all in all, my overriding feeling was pride. You know what I'm saying, on the whole procedure. You know what I mean. But I'm gonna let you.
yeah, nah, because soon as the bracket came out, I was upset. I'm like, damn, they gave us Michigan. Like, I was texting you and Khalil, was like, man, if you the champion of your league, you shouldn't have to play another champion. Like, we should be playing somebody else who didn't win they shit.
Right.
And so
And
from the
not such a big name.
right,
Because
right,
the tournament is about that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and Michigan's name is damn near the biggest when you just include all sports. Like
Right.
obviously, hoops, other schools got bigger brands, but when you take the whole ball of wax, Michigan is like, who's seeing us?
Right.
And
Nah.
we've been doing this shit for 125 years. And now y'all gonna send us these new booty San Diego dudes, and
In
we
their first ever appearance,
right.
we gonna
So
get everything marginal.
I didn't think we had a chance, low key. Like you and Khalil kind of talked me into like, dude, fuck Michigan. Like we can get these dudes, and I still wasn't really buying it, even to tip. In my
Mm,
brackets, I took us because I'm like, all right, I gotta take us.
right.
I took us to the 16 before I
Mm.
was like, all right, man, like I gotta quit the charades. We ain't beating Auburn. But, you know, in my heart of hearts, or my brain of brains, I should say, logically, what I was seeing was like, man, we're not gonna be close to these dudes. But like I said, the two of y'all kind of talked me off that ledge. And sure enough, I mean, the way the game played out, dude, it's like, man, we are these dudes equals. Like, obviously, they got more talent. They bigger, but uh, if we played 10 times, if we just had a home and home, like we saw what it looked like on a neutral court. Like I honestly felt like if we played them 2, 3 times, we could probably win 2 out of the 3. Like we could win a series against them.
Nah.
Because we didn't play good basketball. Like I had seen us play quite a few games, and I had never seen us play as selfishly as we played that night. Like Cats was isoing, the ball wasn't moving the way that it normally do. Cats that normally hit shots wasn't hitting shots, and so that wasn't even an A game for us. That was like a B minus C game, and they kind of just gritted and fought and took the lead. I mean, dude, when they went up by one with
Woo!
under a minute left, it was like, oh my lord, these dudes just to get that lead.
Oh man, it was pandemonium over here. I had a one. It was a one-man pandemonium moment when they took the lead. I couldn't believe it, and then I don't think we ever scored again, did we?
Probably not.
Right. I feel like that was our last. I think that was our last score. But nah, you everything you were saying, like I kept wanting to jump in, but I was like, nope, I'm gonna let you finish because you was hitting so many points. But like you were saying about how, we taught you off the ledge. Another part of that was Vegas. Vegas let you know that it was not a mismatch. You know what I'm saying? We was the shortest 12 seed. You know what I'm saying? We got the least amount of points of all the 12 seeds. And then I think it closed at 2.5.
Right.
Michigan won by 3. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
all the way back to what you were saying about the brand again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They make sure the brand got taken care of. Like it was, man, it was so salty on so many levels. And it's crazy because now looking back at it, you feel like, oh yeah, Michigan was way, they went on and won the next round. Like they've kind of validating, you know what I'm saying? But I still feel like, nah, man, we it's gonna feel like how the Rams was with the Eagles, man. Where it's like, dude, we gave these dudes their best punch. Like they was worried about losing to us. They didn't feel that again the rest of the way, but against us, you know what I'm saying? And how you were saying how we didn't play our A game. We came out down 10-0.
Right.
And beat them by 7 the rest of the way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? After that 10-0 start, I mean, usually you come out with a 10-0 start, like you not, especially in that kind of situation where you the underdog playing against this big powerhouse, usually you fall down 10-0 and that's it. Because I was looking at some of these other smaller schools that was getting dug out by these big schools. Like as far as the small schools, when we represented, you know what I'm saying, about as good as anybody else did. I mean, I hate these moral victories, but it was really like a moral victory. Like we did everything but finish the deal in that game. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And what was also so cool about it was the whole week. Like I guess, well, from Sunday to Thursday, from selection Sunday to the Thursday when the game actually happened. Like it just brought all the UCSD people together. I mean, and anyone that had any sort of connection to UCSD, like it was so much periphery connection happening. Like my boy's son played for the team, or my friend's daughter, you know what I'm saying? It was just all kind of like not only just the people that went there, but then also the people that went there, it pulled them out of the woodwork, like people I hadn't heard from or seen in, you know what I'm saying, Craig Dawson. You know what I'm saying? Reese.
What?
Reese. Yeah, Reese.
No.
Yeah, man.
Reese came out.
Maurice Carlisle was like, yeah, I seen that.
No.
Oh, come on, man. I'm trying to tell you, everybody.
Reese.
Maurice Carlisle was like,
Whose
yeah.
assignment was that?
Huh?
Whose assignment was that? Was that his?
Right.
Or was
Let me shoot this jumper. Let me shoot this 3 over the backboard real quick. Yeah, that Reese. Shout out Reese though. But nah, he you know what I'm saying? Like it, I'm telling you, everyone felt like, real proud of how far they had come. You know what I'm saying? Like it was the community part of it I thought was big too. And then everybody watched the game. You know what I'm saying? Like all those people had, I'm proud of the team. Like everyone, again, kind of like the Rams, like no one gets mad when we lose. You know what I'm saying? Our season be over and everyone be talking about how happy and how good of a season it was. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how this loss was with this UCSD loss. Like no one was mad. We was mad because we felt like we got robbed.
Right.
But still, once that wore off, it was kind of like, man, these dudes, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing but up from here. You know what I mean?
Right. But your first time's always your first time. Like, I don't, from here, it's going to take a run to get to that level. Like, we compare what we was experiencing a lot to what San Diego State did a couple of years ago when they got all the way to the chip. And
Right.
we was on the periphery of that and feeling it and like, dude, like we gonna have to make a run, I think, to get back to the level of excitement that we was at last week.
I disagree.
Really?
I mean, our first win. The first win we get in the tournament is gonna be hyped. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like every time we go, it's gonna be, I mean, at least for the first few times. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, the first time it's not ever gonna reach that level, but when we go and win one, that's gonna be, you know what I'm saying? I mean, because can you imagine how that would have felt if we had won that one Thursday night?
But then I think that was partially because of who it was. Like, because it was Michigan, like your
Nah,
first time in and it's Michigan,
right. Nah,
it's
that
like
would have been,
and
but
they the Big Ten champs.
right.
Like it
Tournament
was
champ.
right. So I mean, yeah, I guess depending on you right.
Whoever we beat in the first time we win our first game. Because some schools like McNeese, this wasn't their first time going, but this was their first win.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We almost did that in one. Like some schools go and go and go and go and go before they get their first one. You know what I'm saying? Like just because you go, like, don't mean you get a win. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like the trajectory we on is gonna lead to a win. You know what I mean? Like I honestly feel like what they doing has some St. Mary's and Gonzaga to it,
Mm,
where it's like you a smaller school, but you built something where in your conference you dominant. You know what I'm saying? So y'all get that bid, y'all going every year. I feel like we can get that off in the Big West. I feel like that's the trajectory that they own. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they won it the year before, right? But just couldn't go because they wasn't eligible.
nah, well, they finished second in regular
Okay.
season, and then they
Okay.
couldn't. They didn't let them go to the Big West tourney.
Right. Right.
Um,
Right. Nah, I don't feel like this is one of them. They went and then you never gonna see them again. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it wasn't like a lucky season. We won 30 games. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's hard to do in any conference, yo. Like, you win 30 games,
right,
you know how to win. You know what I'm
right.
saying? It's not like we had a 500 season and we got in the tournament and got hot. Because Long Beach did that a couple times.
Yeah, last year.
Okay, see? And I remember they did it once when my cousin was at Irvine.
Mm,
So, like, that's how Long Beach pulls theirs off. You know what I'm saying? Like they have a decent season, you know what I'm saying? But then they get to the tournament and make that run, you get a bid, you get in. You know, that's not something you do every year, you know what I mean? But when you win in 30 games, like that's how Gonzaga and St. Mary's built theirs. We're like, okay, we're just gonna dominate our conference. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we can get that off. And if we do that, you know, after a while, we gonna get one of these wins, man. I feel like that's the next step. First, we first got in. You know what I'm saying? You saw how that felt. You know what I'm saying? The euphoria of that. Now my next marker is we get in and we get a win. You know what I'm saying? And then of course it's gonna be get through a weekend. But for now, get a win on a Thursday or Friday, dude, so we can go into that weekend. Like, you know, because again, we talked about it already. Like, imagine how it would be if we got this weekend off. You know what I mean?
right.
Of 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 all we got through that week, if we had gotten that through another week, oh man, I can't even. I don't even think we had enough ammunition for that.
Oh, nah. Bullets were spent
Right? That's
the
what I'm
first 3 or
saying.
4 days. It was like, man, the clip is empty.
Right? We shot it all. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even know if we could have handled an extra week.
Right. But actually, nah. I had some other stuff, and
Right?
you know, it's funny because I feel like not everybody was sharing. Like you
Mm.
obviously shared the most.
Or you think people had stuff that they didn't put out there?
I
Like
mean,
who?
unless we didn't see it. I mean, everybody we play with. Probably. I mean, I don't know that they had.
But see, that's the thing. That's 30 years ago. Like, I don't think a lot of people got that stuff. Like, remember, Rap asked us to post the picture.
And that's crazy.
And that's the one we didn't have, because I don't think I got that one either. The one with Rap on it.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, because I feel like if he had that, he would have posted it or said he had it. Why he, you know what I mean?
Somebody got it. Like if it ain't Darvin or Shawcroft or Bat or Gordo, like
I don't think Bat got it. Bat shared the one I posted with him in it.
right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if Darvin got it because Darvin posted a picture of his jersey.
Right. Yeah.
He got that. Like, that's what I'm saying. People were posting what they had. I'm telling you, them pictures, like, it's to keep a picture like that for 30 years. Like, they may have had it when we took them, clearly. I mean, Rap lives in another country now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I was thinking maybe like some UCSD archives type shit.
What you mean?
Like it ain't no place where UCSD got their basketball team pictures throughout. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nowhere.
I would yeah. I would doubt it. I would
Uh,
seriously doubt it. Um yeah.
really. So
Not
like they don't keep
not systematically. Like if there was one or two people who was acting as historians just unofficially, like, dude, this is a really cool. It's like we said, we knew we could all see the seeds of this, and we knew what it was gonna grow into. And so somebody back in the '90s being like, dude, I'm gonna archive this myself because one day this shit gonna blow, and when it blow, I'm gonna be the one that's like, dude, this is where it started. I mean, it could be somebody doing that, and if I wouldn't be surprised because I feel like I have a bunch of stuff.
nah,
Like,
you do. You had the most stuff that I had never seen. You know
right,
what I'm saying? Everything everybody else was posting, I had seen or I had. You know what I'm saying?
right,
You had the most unseen footage of anybody from me. You know what I'm saying? But so you saying like, okay, like even with this year's team, they team picture not going nowhere. Like you see it, that's unbelievable to me. You know what I'm saying? Like a yearbook. You know what I mean? Like the school
yeah,
don't keep nothing like that. They don't have no pictures of their teams ever. Like not only basketball, you know what I'm saying? Like swimming, like it
right,
should be somewhere where these team pictures, I mean, you know what I mean?
right.
That's the thought that came to my head when I was because I thought about that too. When Rap brought that up, I was like, where could we find that picture? Because then you saw Rap had went back up to UCSD and they got something with his picture in it.
Right.
Like they got that, but they ain't got no team pictures.
Right. Nah. I mean, yeah.
I mean, I don't know where it would be, but I feel like UCSD got it. You know what I mean? Come on, y'all gotta have kept that. Like,
Dude, the
so
closest I've seen to it, and that's probably where Rap's picture came from, was The Guardian. Like, The Guardian has archives. Like, and you
okay,
can
and
you can pretty much access those on the internet.
right. No, and I feel like this is whatever they have, that's how it should be. That's what the internet is for.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But you know, The
That's why I can't
Guardian,
believe it ain't nowhere in the internet where these pictures live.
yeah, you know, not team pictures, not like that. Like The Guardian wasn't just devoted to our team or to any one team. Like it was the whole school. They had a
Cool.
sports section
Right. And that's why I
where
feel like it shouldn't just be basketball. I feel like the swim team, the soccer team, the hockey team, all the so they just took those pictures and then they just disappeared. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the school, I don't know. That's hard for me to believe. Now that's something I'm gonna have to go look into.
Because on the basketball website, like they'll have like programs from other years. Like if you go, like the basketball website has a history section,
Okay.
and when you go in the history section, it ain't a whole lot in there. Like it's past basketball programs, but it ain't even a lot of them. Like it's hit and
Mm,
miss. Like it's random ones from like '06 or 2011 or
mm.
like it ain't year by year. At least the last time I looked, it was kind of like hit and miss. Um, so yeah, I mean the basketball website, and it's the basketball website is the whole athletic program's website.
Right.
It's like UCSD I think it's called. And yeah, it's not, at least for the basketball portion, it's not a whole lot in there.
It's not thorough.
Right.
That's unbelievable to me. Like that has to change. Like, so you telling me I'm putting money on it that it ain't like that with UCLA. Like they like we don't know, we don't have no team pictures. You know what I'm saying? Come on,
Right.
they got team pictures all the way back to when Kareem and them was playing.
Right. I'm going on the school website or the athletics website right now.
Because I mean, we know those pictures exist. That's my thing. It's not like, did we take a picture back then? Like we know we took a picture. You mean to tell me no one put that anywhere except for us that kept it? Because when Rap said that about that picture, I was like, yeah, that's a good call, Rap. That's the one picture that we don't have. You know what I'm saying? But we know we took it.
Yeah, yeah. The school's website, athletics website on the basketball page don't have much at all, especially not
Mm.
in terms of pictures. Like it has information, year by year records and stuff like that, but
How far does that go back? Does that go all the way back? The records and stuff?
yeah, year by
Okay.
year, yeah, it goes back to 65, 66.
Uh, okay. See, with that, it should be a team picture for each one.
Right.
Right there, where you got the record, this should be the team picture.
Because I mean, it's record, it's the scoring leader for that year, it's the rebounding leader, it's the assist leader.
Right. See?
All so with their stats.
Right. And it should be the team picture. So you know who these dudes are. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now, and that to me goes back to what you were saying about us becoming St. Mary's or Gonzaga. Like, for one, if this coach, I'm thinking people are gonna come knocking.
Mhm.
Like he's been here for probably 10 years. Actually, I'm looking it up.
12. 12.
Okay. 23, 2014 was his first year. Um, and his only bad season, he's only had one. Well, actually, no, he's had 3 seasons under 500, but they was all probably those
Early.
three. No, nah, his first year, we went 15 and 11. 16 and 11, 24 and 8, 27 and 6, 21 and 11, 26 and 8, 30 and 1
Mm.
our last year in D2. And then D1. So our first 3 years in D1, we was under 500 but respectable.
Mm.
And then 2 seasons ago they was 21 and 12, and then this year 30 and 4. So his resume is strong. And
Right.
so, with St. Mary's, uh Bennett, Randy, he stayed. Like he ain't never left. Gonzaga did lose one of their coaches, but Mark Few been there for a minute.
Dan Munson. And it's funny that you brought that up because I thought the same thing to myself when I was thinking this, us being St. Mary's and Gonzaga. I was like, I hope this coach don't end up being Dan Munson.
Mm.
I was like, I hope he be Mark Few and not Dan Munson. Because if you leave this, you know what I'm saying? You can leave this for a bigger job, but that don't mean this ain't gonna keep growing. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, the seeds, we seen the seeds 30 years ago of what this could be. You know what I'm saying? So just because this coach don't stay to do it, don't mean it's not gonna get done. And that's what I was thinking. I was like, man, I hope someone reminds him of how Gonzaga went. And the coach that started it bounced for Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? And gave it to this unknown assistant.
Right.
They didn't even bring in no big dude.
Right.
This dude was just sitting on their bench. You know what I'm saying? I know you got a dude like that. I know it's a dude sitting on this bench right now that if you bounce,
Oh, no, for sure.
can
100%.
be can be like, I've been with this dude for 10 of these 12 years. You know what I'm saying? I know how he run it. You know what I mean? We
Right.
gonna keep pushing with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then because Dan Munson went to Minnesota. I vividly remember that. You know what I'm saying? And then he ended up at like
Like
Long
on
Beach.
each day, right.
Man, at
Right.
that point, he was trying to get back to Gonzaga. Like, man, you know what I mean? So, that's a hell of a tale right there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I mean, you Bennett did stay, and he probably knows that tale too. Like, yo, I can leave for one of these so-called bigger jobs, but them so-called bigger jobs run through coaches. You know what I'm saying? While what you
But
built,
no,
go
I
ahead.
hear you. I hear that. But we in our infancy still. Like even Gonzaga by that point, like they wasn't new to D1. They had probably been D1 because Stockton went there. They had been D1 for probably 20 years before Munson was like, I got it figured out. We about to do this. Because even in that conference, like, and that's the thing, like, as you was talking, I was like, has anyone in the Big West won a tournament game? Like,
UNLV.
well, they ain't in the Big West no more. I'm talking about in the current iteration of that conference.
Oh, right, right. But they dominated the Big West back in the 80s.
Right, but they should, I mean, but
That's how they got to play Duke.
and
You know what I'm
they
saying?
was going to the four in the '70s too, though. Like
Out
before
the Big West, though.
the Big West didn't make them. Like the Big West played zero role in what UNLV became. Like UNLV was going to become that regardless of
What
Big
conference?
West, WCC, Pac-12. Like Tark was going to have that shit rolling.
No, but my point is the Big West can nurture that. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? If
right.
you bring it, the Big West can facilitate your needs. You
And
can get to a championship game against Duke out the Big West. You know what I'm saying?
because even in Gonzaga's conference, like Loyola, Marymount, when we was in high school, like they did that epic shit with Hank and Bo.
Oh,
They
right.
was they was on the scene for a minute. Like I felt like Pepperdine. I don't know if Pepperdine really made no runs, but they've had some epic NCAA type games. Like
With
they
Romar, right?
right and with Jim Herrick. Jim Herrick
Oh
was
yeah.
at Pepperdine.
Mm-hmm.
Like they
Mm-hmm.
lost to NC State in the first round that season, and NC State won it
Won it. Right.
and gave the game away. Like just pissed it away. So anyway, like if I don't think nobody there's no school in the Big West who I feel like is paving the way. It's like, dude, we made our run. So, now y'all just come along and add to that. So that's one thing. And then the other thing, especially with St. Mary's Gonzaga, is like they got each other. Like they've been able to, so now Gonzaga can be like, nigga, we beat St. Mary's, and that means something. Where it used to be, it'll be like, dude, yo, ain't nobody like it. If all you
That's
doing
hurting your strength of schedule.
right, If all you doing is winning your conference, then that ain't nothing. But now they could be like, dude, we beating each other. And so I'm like, that's what UCSD need. And Irvine was damn near it this year because Irvine damn near got at
A
large.
bid.
It's like if the two of them can just grow and keep doing that work and get it to the point where UCSD could be like, nigga, we beat Irvine, and that means
Right.
something. And the
Right.
NCAA like, oh, you right.
Right.
Y'all did beat Irvine. Y'all, and so
both of y'all are in.
right.
But
And
see,
that's ultimately where you want to be.
right, and that's where they are now, St. Mary's and Gonzaga. But when you were saying that, I was like, but it wasn't always like that. Gonzaga was doing that without St. Mary's, and then St. Mary's kind of used that to build themselves up
Right.
to the point where they can say, "Oh, we beat each other." But at first, Gonzaga was smashing that whole conference. Like Bennett and them wasn't, you know what I mean? It took Bennett a good minute to where, they on par with them now. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like we got to play the Gonzaga role. I mean, it would be great for Irvine to play the St. Mary's role right away. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like initially, we got to play the Gonzaga role. Like, we got to come back next year with another strong season. Like, we got to put together a few seasons in a row where it's like, damn, UCSD here every year. You know what I'm saying? At least to our conference tournament. You know what I mean? Like, conference tournaments are crapshoot. So if we don't win that every year, but that's our guaranteed ticket in.
Right.
Because, at this stage, it's still going to be hard for us to get in that large.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to get that conference tournament, as much as possible to get that automatic berth until somebody else want to come with us where it's like, man, this conference is just good.
Right.
And that's the other thing. Ain't no telling how much longer it's going to be like this.
What you mean? The Big West?
How the conferences are currently aligned, and just the NCAA in general. Like they're saying the NCAA is on life support.
Right.
With NIL and all this going on, like they really are powerless. Like, what do they even do? Like, they can't ain't no death penalty. Like, what's the violations now?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We know y'all paying people. Like, that's literally the only violation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, who knows what the future is going to be like down the road of conferences and all that. But if it stays in the current iteration, I feel like we should try to follow that path that Gonzaga laid. You know what I mean?
Nah, you're right. It's a changing landscape for sure. Like Azusa Pacific announced the other day that they bringing football back.
I saw that.
Which, that's big.
Dope.
It is. It is. And, football is supposed to be dying out too. Like, it's supposed to be to the point where, like, fewer and fewer people is going to play or whatever. And, when you see stuff like that, because, my pipe dream is still UCSD.
Getting football.
Right. Like, if y'all really trying to do some stuff to get out of that Gonzaga lane, like, because y'all don't have to stay in that lane. Like, y'all could be like, dude,
we want to get in the UCLA lane.
Right.
Nah.
And, I mean, I don't know. When Azusa, and granted, it's easier for them because they've had it.
Christian Okoye went there.
Right. And so, I don't know even what it would look like on UC San Diego campus, but it's a trip because going back to just the celebration of the week, like, I've never seen UCSD basketball celebrated the way it was celebrated. Just by people.
It's never been.
Right. I mean, just by the people that we knew, like, not even counting the outsiders and hearing, Dickie V or the bracketologist dude, Joe Lenardi pickers. Like, I mean, it was a grip of people jumping on the bandwagon,
Beth Davis picked this and jumped off at the half.
Did he?
He picked this before the game.
He
And
picked
at
us
halftime,
minutes into the bracket being announced.
had picked us.
Yeah, as soon as it came out, he was like, UC San Diego's beating Michigan. And
Uh,
they're going to the Sweet 16. Like he said that as the bracket was being introduced on CBS.
uh.
Uh,
Cause during the game, cause they had him on the pregame show with like Candace Parker and whoever
yeah,
else, and
Jay
they
Wright.
all made their picks, and he was the only one that picked us, and everybody else picked Michigan. Then
Uh,
when he came back at halftime, he was like, "Well, clearly I was wrong. UCSD season is over." And I was like, "Ain't that a bitch? You ain't even gonna give us a chance to come back, huh?" And we did. That's why if we had won, that I'd have been like, "Man, tear your bracket up. Like you shouldn't even get to count this win." You know what I'm saying?
right. But nah, just this, the celebration. People like we started coming out to woodworks, hyped, celebrating hoop, even celebrating old school hoop, like just embracing it all. Like whatever was UCSD basketball, they was like, give me Mo, I want Mo. And so I'm like, cool. If that spirit can continue, then the logical place for it to grow is, dude, what if we woke up on Saturday mornings and had a football game to go to? Like,
That,
um,
that would be unbelievable. I
right.
don't even know where it will be held. Like, it's all kind of logistics to it. But shit, we never thought this was possible, and we waited 30 years for this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not ruling nothing out. Like, if because that would set it off. Because I remember when we got to UCSD, I was like, man, my high school had a football team. Like, we had football in high school. How can't we have it here? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
And I remember we would have them votes, them school wide votes where the students would have to vote.
if they
It was a
wanted it,
it was a couple of votes. We had a vote to go D1. We had a vote to play football.
mm,
And the schools, because of course it had to be a fee increase. So
all
it's like,
right.
will you vote to increase fees for the school to go D1?
Mm.
School students like, hell nah. Hell nah. Will you increase fees to
Ah,
fund the football program? Hell nah. So I feel like that is changing. Like obviously they got the D1 vote through because they had to go through the same process. Like they couldn't have did it without the students saying yes, we
we
will
will
fund
take
it.
it. Right,
Right. Because at
right.
some level the students are the ones that are saying we're gonna pay a little bit more to bring this exposure to our school. And so I mean they got the D1 vote through. And I feel like at this point they looking around like, man, this is cool as hell. Like, imagine if we could roll this into a football season.
Football.
Like now we got to damn near wait basically till January, December, January for basketball to get rolling again, and for them to have some games that matter and all that stuff, and really to get back till March before we get to this crescendo again. And it's like, dude, we could be going through this September.
Right. Trying to get into the bowl, the playoffs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I'm
Right.
telling you, if we did that, it wouldn't take long for us to be on the map in that. Like, it's an untapped mine right there that they haven't tapped into. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because when you were saying how the students was like, hell nah, but now they feel all this exposure, I was like, oh yeah, they way past that. Because remember, I was telling you, I was going to a bar, I seen people with UCSD sweatshirts going to watch the game. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's infected everybody. Like you can pass anything at this point, like anything sports related, they would be like, hell yeah. Because didn't you
Right.
say they get 10 million for making the tournament?
Something like that. Like the conference get a chunk, but UCSD get the biggest part of it.
I mean, that alone should have the school like, yo,
Right. We made our money back.
and some. You know what I'm saying? Like this paying for other sports now.
Right.
We need to get more of this. You know what I'm saying? I would feel like this should be an eye opener. Like, okay, yeah, we need to add some football. You know what I'm saying? Like, Because even if we not good, they got them games where you go play other schools and get paid.
Right.
Like we could be that when we first come in, like how they do them HBCUs. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all go play LSU. You know what I'm saying? Y'all take this road game against LSU for this check. I would be down to do that our first few years. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Nah. Uh. Yeah, like you said, it wouldn't take long to get it off the ground. Like, and it's a trip because I don't, San Diego State is obviously light years different than it was when we was there. Like when we was there, and granted, Marshall Falk was there, and they had some cool
NFL
players,
players.
but they was, they hoop squad was
Not good.
run of the mill, didn't have facilities, might have been playing at like the sports arena, which ain't even
Right.
downtown in San Diego. Like playing in the sports arena was not hyped.
Right. It's like it would have been like playing in the sports arena in LA.
Which is what SC was doing, which was
Same thing.
but no, that was a few levels higher than what state was when we was there.
Yeah,
Harold
I'm a
Harold was at SC
right.
in the sports
But
arena.
but Kawhi was at State.
But no, that's after they built their on campus shit. Like that's when
Mm,
it changed.
mm,
When they built that
mm.
Viejas
Right.
in the 90s, late 90s, like that's when they flipped. And I don't know that their football team ever got I don't know if their football team ever really got dope.
Right. They probably stayed at where they were when we was out there. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the thing. They never eclipsed Marshall.
Right.
Like no one has come along to be like, yeah, forget about that dude. You know what I'm saying?
They've had
I'm
some
taking it.
dudes. I mean, not on that level. I feel like they team. Well, I can't even say that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Team or individually. Because
Yeah.
remember, Marshall was up for ESPY.
Right.
I mean, no one's done that. I don't know if he may have been up for the Heisman.
Oh, for sure. I don't know if
Okay.
he got invited to New York, but actually, I think he did.
Right. And that's
Got
what I
that
meant.
money that he did.
That's
So
what I meant.
yeah.
Because we know he went to the ESPYs.
Right.
We know that.
Oh shit.
But I don't remember if he was at the Heisman ceremony.
But so I don't know. I feel like all right, they haven't eclipsed Marshall as a person or them teams because them teams was playing UCLA, SC, like they
Right.
might have beat one or the other. They played the
Right.
U, like they was playing
Legit schools.
right. But that's when the Chargers was going. Like I feel like the sports landscape in San Diego was a little bit more crowded, and they was playing at Jack Murphy, so they didn't have their own stadium. Now the Chargers is gone. They got their own stadium, like they built them a brand new stadium where
Mm-hmm.
Jack Murphy used to be, and it's a cool little stadium. Like it only seat like 30,000, but
That's perfect for them.
right, right.
They
So
don't need to
it's
be in a Rose Bowl like UCLA.
right,
We got to tarp half of it off. You know what
right,
I'm saying?
right. So, I don't know why, especially in football, why they haven't made the jump. Because theoretically, they got access to everything that UCSD would have, except they not a UC school. And I'm sitting here as you was talking, I'm like processing it when you was like, it wouldn't take long for it to pop. And I'm like, what is it that UCSD got that state don't have, or even USD? Because
Mm.
USD is sitting there like, dude, we been D1, we got football, we got cool facilities, we in this conference with Gonzaga and St. Mary's. Like they got theoretically everything you would want, but
But
they
you see,
trash.
USD is little though,
So is Gonzaga and St. Mary's
and they don't have football.
right.
I'm saying that's why we could get the football off because you go to our campus, you would feel like you at UCLA.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But actually, UCLA ain't got it off either. You know what I'm saying? So maybe it's something with the UCs because now when you was thinking that, I was like, well, damn, Cal ain't got it off either. Like, what UC school has got football off? You know what I'm saying? So when you were saying that, I was kind of like, maybe football is the pantheon you can't reach because it's harder to get. I mean, you know how it's harder to get kids into these UC schools. It may
Right.
be easier to fill a
Right.
basketball team with just 12 dudes than trying to fill a football team of 50 dudes to get in like that. You know what I'm saying?
But they ain't got to be championship level. Like
Right, right,
UCLA and Cal is acceptable. Like what
right.
State was doing was acceptable. Like it should, given that they got the state or the city all to themselves now, and they got this stadium. Like I was expecting something greater than what they've been doing these past few years, where they've been trash.
State football.
Right,
No, absolutely. Because the hoop took the jump.
right,
The hoop made it to the championship game. They using the same, the new facilities, less pressure in town. Like the hoop parlayed it. It's the
right,
football that's lacking, you know what I mean? And the
right,
football seemed like y'all should have been the ones because y'all was putting your heads up there before basketball.
right,
Before basketball did this, y'all had moments, you know what I'm saying? But y'all haven't been able to repeat that.
right. And y'all in a cool conference where y'all should be able to compete. Like who running that conference? Like Fresno State or somebody? Like
Right. Nah,
that
right.
conference is gettable, but y'all ain't getting it. And so yeah, I mean, whatever the mix is it's obviously harder in football than basketball, but I don't know. I just feel like that's the next jump that the
Nah.
school should be looking at if they really trying to be like, because without a doubt, it should be the best school in San Diego. Like if
Mm.
that should be the minimum bar that they are going to
Trying
accept
to attain.
until we should be running this city on every level, academics, athletics, like everything. When you think about San Diego, it should be UCSD. And
I
that's,
love it.
I mean,
And
they
and
got a
that's how
ways to
y'all,
go.
huh?
I was like, they got a ways to go to get there because they not close to, even though they play state close when they've played them these last couple of years, state's program is, shit, they going on like 20 years of like, we've been cool, competitive, tournament runs, Kawhi, all that shit, Steve Fisher. Um, and football is, they doing what they doing, but they gettable. They gettable.
Right? And that's what I was about to say. With this new generation, it don't take 20 years to catch up. You know what I'm saying? Like they 20 years was like in the early 2000s,
Right.
before the internet, before social media. Like now, 2, 3 years is like, you know what I'm saying, 10, 15 years. Like the amount of stuff that you can do and the reach you have, I don't think it's gonna take that long. That's what I'm saying. Like they didn't make the tournament this year, right?
They did.
Oh, they did?
State,
Yeah.
they made the play in and got smashed by Carolina.
Okay. Yeah, nah. A few years of us making it and them not, you know what I'm saying? Well, even the playing field. I'm not gonna say it'll make it equal, but I don't think it would take us 20 years to catch them in this current culture. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a good 5, 10 year run, you
No,
know.
because we played them. I mean, we've played them every year probably for the last 7, 8 years, and they beat them. But the year after they went to the chip, lost to Connecticut, and then a few months later they came and played at UCSD,
Mm,
which was the big deal because they had never. It's like if we gonna play, y'all got to come see y'all got to come
to us. Damn, I think he cut off again.
in
Is that
gold at
oh
home
you
since
back?
we was there. Like they hadn't worn gold at home since our time. So they
UCSD?
wore the gold, and
Damn, you freezing up. Oh, there he goes. All right. Well, oh, you back?
yeah, what happened?
You froze up. But
Did
now
I?
you yeah, yeah.
Damn. It's saying it's still being recorded though.
No, yeah, I'm still recording. I was gonna
Okay.
stop it because you had went away, but now you back finished because you were saying we wore gold.
Right. That was our first time wearing gold at home since the 90s. And this was
Really?
their team. Yeah. Yeah. Because we had gone to white. Like the last year we played was the last year we wore gold at home. Like when Lanthier came in that next year, they went to white. And they had been
Uh,
white at home forever.
since they don't have gold home jerseys.
They wear it as alternates now.
Wow.
Like they still have white. They 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 still actually, I can't say it for sure because that's that. It's to the point where when they wear gold, it don't catch my attention no more. So
Mm.
they might have been wearing it the whole season, but I feel like they still have some white that they wear. But anyway, that one state game was their first time wearing gold. State came to Remac, and they beat us on a buzzer beater, and
I
that
remember.
state team went to the Sweet 16. Like that
Mm,
state team went to the Sweet 16 and lost to Connecticut again. Like
mm.
they played Connecticut 2 seasons, 2 tournaments in a row. In the
In the
chip,
midst of Connecticut winning too.
right. Like we going through state, San Diego State. We gonna roll through y'all to 2 rings.
Mm.
So yeah, that team that UCSD had beat, lost to on a buzzer beater, ended up going winning 2 games in the tournament, and probably would have won more if they
If
didn't
they
run
hadn't
into.
ran into right. Nah.
So and then this year, I guess they played back at San Diego State, and it was maybe a 6, 7 point game. So head up, I feel like we seeing them like that. That discrepancy is gone. Where it's like, yeah, y'all like the
Way
JV
better than
program,
us.
right? Right. It's like, dude, y'all know when y'all see us, and we've been beating USD. Like we
Mm.
smashing USD now, so it's not even a question of who's second in the city.
Mm.
And
I
who's
love it.
first is, you know,
Becoming a question.
right, at least head up. Now, in terms of infrastructure, and that goes back to what we were saying, like, ain't pictures nowhere. Like,
Right.
I feel like that lack of infrastructure is also what's separating us right now from
Mm.
Gonzaga, St. Mary's, San Diego State, whatever. Like,
Mm.
I don't know. I don't. I don't know how much of a culture there is. I don't know how much of an
Mm.
infrastructure. I don't know how much. I mean, I think they reach out to alumni or whatever, and they invite people to shit. But
Were they ex-players?
yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
Okay. Nah, because when you were saying that, all that you were saying, I was like, yeah, nah, well, all that's about to change. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this run is gonna help with that part, the culture part. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Because like you were saying, all the ancillary people that got involved and how passionate they was, just the people that we know, like that's not gonna go away. You know what I'm saying? They may not be up on everything next season, but it's gonna be more on their radar. You know what I'm saying? And I know for us it's gonna be because I'm already like, okay, I want to go to the tournament next year. Like the
the
conference
conference
tournament,
tournament, yeah,
right? Because I used to go for Irvine with my cousin. You know what I'm
right,
saying? So it's gonna be nothing to go for UCSD. So that part, the culture, that's about to change. Like it's about to be, you know what I'm saying? We about to amp that. That's what that run did. You know what I'm saying? That run is gonna help ingrain the culture. They do it again soon, and then they lock it in. You know what I'm saying? This one right here let everyone feel what it feels like. And everyone liked that feeling. You know what I'm saying? They get back where they make it like, yo, this is something we gonna be doing. man, we off and running. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Nah. Um, cause just even what and for full disclosure, like we've been actually I don't think I've been to a UCSD game since they was D1. It was one year where we had a plan to go when they was playing Long Beach.
Mm,
And it was like some epic rain type shit.
right.
And so we ended up not going. Um, but yeah, I mean, just from the conversations, Darvin, Marlon, Khalil, everybody like, yeah, we got to go to games. Like the conference tournament, yes. But even when they come to LA, like they come to LA enough, LA area, Long Beach,
Irvine.
Ridge, Irvine, right, Fullerton. Like they come to LA enough, whereas it's obviously it's San Diego. Like it ain't like it's a 5 hour drive.
Right. It ain't Arizona.
Right. So I mean, that tap in, I agree. Like at least on our level, just in terms of as like basketball alumni, like
Like, hey, they playing Irvine tonight. We need to
right,
hit that.
right,
Nah, I
right,
feel like all that's gonna change. I mean, I want to meet the coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, and all of that we can get off going to the games. Cause you know how those games are. Like, you know what I'm saying? After those games, literally everyone just mills around on the floor. Like that's how it was at Irvine. You know what I'm saying?
right, right.
So
No,
yeah, we hadn't been taking advantage of that, and we played.
right,
So you couldn't really have expected anybody else, you know what I'm saying, to have that kind of fervor for the program. But what I'm saying is what they just did changes all of that. Like now you don't have no excuse. Like that's what I was thinking. Like, dude, I don't even have no gear. Like you got crazy gear, you know what I'm saying? You got all kind of hats, everything, you know what I'm saying? But I don't have one item. Like that has to change, you know what I'm saying? Like
no.
during the tournament, they were showing dudes in the crowd with jerseys on.
Yellow
UCSD,
jersey,
UCSD jerseys. I don't even
yeah,
have one.
right,
You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh yeah, nah, that's it. Next year, you know what I'm saying? I'm all in.
right. Nah, and I've had it and I wear it, but that shit meant so much more to put that shit on Friday after the
I
game.
saw the picture you posted that went viral. You know what I'm saying? People was feeling that.
Right,
The day
right,
after the loss, people was like, "Yeah, it's still UCSD on ours." You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
right,
Rod represent. Like
right.
I'm telling you,
Nah,
that's how.
two and through this weekend. Like when we saw Shake yesterday, his first
Mm,
words was like, "Man, San
right,
Diego."
right,
And there were
right.
several dudes who, first time I saw them, like usually they hollering at me about the Rams or something,
Mm.
but through this last week, all they wanted to talk about was, dude, San Diego, I got them to make a run, or y'all almost had it, or whatever it was. It's just like, all right, this is cool as hell.
Not adulterated love. That's what I'm about to say. It was just love. Like, and then the way they fought. Like towards the end of that game, everyone was for us. We became the underdog there. It's like, okay, I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm with y'all now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not from Michigan or San Diego, but y'all fought and they robbing y'all. You know what I'm saying? And it's obvious to everyone because it's like, dudes that didn't even have a dog in the fight was like, yeah, the refereeing was terrible. Like Lombard was like, yo, that one where they jumped on dude's back, I was yelling at my TV. You know what I'm saying? And I have friends texting me like, that was a foul. And I'm like, these people don't even watch basketball like that. You know what I mean? So it's like people saw. Like I was telling you, one of Hal's relatives, someone that knew Hal, posted like how the whole country saw who was the better team today. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? So it was like, even, you know what I mean? Even the actual players and their families was like, nah, like, y'all saw that. It was one of those kind of things. Like, yeah, Michigan, y'all moved on, but You know what I mean? Y'all needed a lot of help. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which even makes it more like something to be proud of. Like Michigan needed all that help to beat us. Like they didn't need it against Texas A&M. Well, actually, they kind of did, but you know what I mean. But they finished Texas A&M off though. Like you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't feel like they finished us off. I feel like we ran out of time. Like if you put 2 more minutes on that clock, we running y'all down. You know what I'm saying? Because they only had to make one big shot. That was that three that dude hit. We didn't get a chance to put more game pressure on them, which we were on the way to do. You know what I'm saying? But time just ran out. We ended up with just a three to tie it, which was a
Right.
questionable decision. You know what I mean? Instead of playing 2 for 1, but we're playing a foul game. But you know, at that point, you know, you can't really be a stickler on the decisions that he made at that point. He got us to that point. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Nah. It was. I haven't gone back and watched. I haven't gone back. I haven't engaged with damn near anything. Because part of me after the game was like, dude, I'm gonna go to the San Diego Union Tribune. Like, I want to hear
Mm.
what they got to say. Like, I need somebody to speak on this with some passion. Like, dude, we got Rob, just
Yeah.
all of that. But I ended up not doing it. I was like, all right, I didn't engage. I ain't, highlights, post game shows. Like, I didn't deal with none of that, especially after the game because we was all still talking and texting. So, we was going strong for like an hour or two
Right.
after the game ended. And,
Ha.
and so the time to tap in with Jim Hill or whoever and be like, all right, dude, like, tell us what you just saw, highlights, recap it. I didn't deal with none of that. But yeah, just sitting here kind of going off my memory of the game, like, yeah, we took the lead. They hit the three. And I know we had a possession where we got fouled on a layup. They didn't call it.
Mm-hmm.
But our
And people.
dude ended up getting the ball, not the same dude who got fouled. I think Howe got fouled, and they didn't call it. He missed the layup. But then Roshlin ended
Mm-hmm.
up with the putback, and he just smoked the layup. And I think that's
Right.
what I said in the text to you, Marlon and Lil, was like, yeah, the refs are doing this, but he smoked that layup. And
Right.
I think
Right.
I think that I guess that would have tied it up.
Or
Uh,
put us up one. Oh, nah, because that three put them up two, right?
right. So maybe that ties it up, and we miss it and foul. They make one free throw, up three, and we come back down and play for 1-3 rather than getting the two and extending the
Fouling
game.
again. Right. Because they kept missing one out of two.
Right. I think I don't remember. I don't know if that's exactly how the game went, but that's my memory of it. So the point is, like, yeah, easily there were chances to put more pressure on them to extend the game. Um, but yeah, in the final analysis, they moved on. They now in the Sweet 16. I know we said we was going to talk a little bit about what we think of the Sweet 16 coming up.
Oh, right.
How's your bracket looking?
Well, I didn't even fill out a bracket, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't want to have to put us out. So that means I would have had us winning the finals, and I know that bracket wasn't gonna hit. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was like, now we can do it. Bet these teams, you know what I'm saying? I don't have a dog in the fight. I can honestly look and see what I saw this weekend and think who I think can make it. You know what I mean? But I didn't fill out one before because, like I do in the football pools, I always got the Rams winning the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? And
Right,
that's a lot easier because it's a smaller pool with 64 teams putting UCSD to win it. If the moment they lose, I'm done.
right. Yeah,
But before we get to that though, it's funny because you were saying you didn't watch none of the post game stuff because I didn't really watch none of it either because I was in those texts with y'all. But I saw later on a few different people sent me the clip You saw after the UCSD players did their press conference, they was like, "Hey, can we take these name tags?"
Nah. The players,
Yeah, because they got to go up too with the
yeah,
after the game, and where they got your name
yeah.
and you answer the questions. After that, when they got up, they was like, "Hey, can we take these name tags?" And
I
they took
love
their
it.
name tags, play big
Yeah, that is
as souvenirs.
UCSD. That
That's
is
what I
that's
thought
to a
too.
T.
Nah, that's what I was like. We would have did the exact same thing. They got up and took their name tags, and like 3 different people sent me that clip, and I was like, "Hey,
Wow.
what,
That's funny.
what you expect? They stay first time." You know what I'm saying?
Right. Nah, that lets you know where our mindset is, though. Like,
Right, right.
we
Nah,
was living in that moment and realizing, like, dude, this is cool as hell for one. And for two, we ain't taking for granted because, I don't even know. It's hard to know just period who got years, because even when they say they're a senior, that don't necessarily mean that they done.
right,
Because a lot of dudes be graduates and all that shit.
right, right.
Um, yeah, Roshlin, Howe, they juniors.
Okay, that's big. What's McGee or McGuy or whatever?
He a senior.
How about Tate
Aniwa,
Jones?
Aniwa Nee was a senior.
Uh,
Hayden Gray's a senior.
uh,
And the other starter was Capich. He a junior. So it's three out of the
pieces.
top six coming back.
Right.
And I'm wondering if any of those three juniors were on the podium talking about, can we take our name tag? Maybe, maybe not.
Right. Nah, because I
Was
know
any
it
of
wasn't
them black?
Holland, huh?
Was any of them black?
No, and that's what I was about to say. I was about to say it wasn't Holland and the other dude up there for sure. It was 3 white dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Probably the seniors.
Right. Right.
I think all of them came from D2s too.
Uh.
Like the point guard, the dude that broke the steals record and all that, he came from Azusa Pacific.
Mm,
Tate Jones came from like Hawaii Pacific, which is
mm.
D2.
Right. Right.
And then your boy Magai, I don't know if he came.
Oh, did he come from Western Carolina?
That sound about right.
They D1, right?
Nah, they got him here as a. He went to UCU, wherever the hell that is. But they have him on here as a D2 player.
Uh.
22,
Okay.
23. He was in Division Two. They got okay. Nah, UCU. I don't know what that UCU. Oh, Southwest Nazarene. Okay,
Wow.
as a freshman, he was at Western Carolina. They D1.
Okay.
Then sophomore, junior years, he went to Southwest Southern Nazarene. That's a D2 school. And then he played. So he played 5 years,
Mm.
including 2 at UCSD. So yeah,
Okay.
all three of them dudes was D2 dudes that was on the podium.
Right.
And
So
so
they definitely wanted their name tags.
right, right,
Their
right,
journey has been way different. You know what I'm saying?
right. Yeah, them other cats. I know the two black dudes both came from D1s. So they've been D1 they whole time. Roshlin and
How?
How, right.
Because How's from Dago, right?
Probably. His brother played at UCSD.
Okay.
Brother broke
Because
the assist record.
uh broke Darvin's.
Yeah.
Because I think it was his mom that was commenting, and her friend that was commenting was saying how used to run around with some, and she named like a San Diego traveling team.
Mm.
Like, you know, they got that it's one main San Diego traveling team, and she was saying how he was running around with them as a little kid. And the
Okay.
lady was saying how she can't believe he's a grown man now. You know what I mean? From
Mm-hmm.
those days of him running around with the whoever all stars or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And now he a
Yeah.
grown man at UC.
Nah. Whatever team that was is Zach. Remember
Ah,
Zach?
okay, right, right. He runs the
Whatever
traveling
that
team at
squad was, Zach was running it.
wow. Talk about small world. So
No,
Zach runs the San Diego squad, huh?
Ron Jalen Hands played for Zach. Like Zach
Mm,
eventually got a high school gig, and it was one year where Jalen played for Zach. But
interesting.
that high school, it was like it was kind of like a prep school. Like they didn't get to play normal schools. Like they
Mm.
wasn't gonna be playing Mira Mesa or San Diego.
Poway.
Right, right. Like they was only playing other schools that had like 13th graders on.
Mm,
And even though
right.
Jalen was, I think, only an 11th grader, um, because my whole plan was like, I'm going to go to one of them games and pull up on Zach.
Mm.
But I ended up never doing it. But yeah, whatever program
Zach was involved.
that was Zach. Like
That's
that's what he was
crazy.
doing before he got to the high school level.
That's crazy. Basketball is such a small world, dude.
Right.
And then once you in it too, like you know what I'm saying? Even you've been out of it for 30 years, then a name like Zach pops up. You're like, damn. To bring it all together to these parents that's talking about their kid growing up in that environment. You know what I mean?
Right. 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 But he went to St. Mary's. How?
Ah,
He went to St. Mary's. And
with
so,
Bennett,
yeah. So,
him
his
transferring to UCSD, Bennett was like, all right,
yeah. Take me with you.
yeah, if that's where you going, fine. You know what I'm saying? Anywhere else, I'm mad.
Right. Right. And I think Roshlyn went to like Arizona State first. So
Mm,
I don't
okay.
know that because I like the fact that you said they asked for their name tags. That makes me like them dudes even more. Like, all right, they like really out the dirt like we are.
Nah, that's
Uh,
how I felt. When I saw that, I was like, what y'all expect?
right. They was trying to clown you when they
No,
sent
they
it.
just sent it to me like, you know what I mean? But my response was, well, like, you know what I'm saying? No one was trying to clown. I think everyone just thought it was so cool.
Oh,
Just like how, you know what I mean, raw they were about it. How, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, this is our first time. Can we take these name tags? Like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna send it to you though. I'm gonna send you the clip. But yeah, it was I thought it was cool as hell. You know what I'm saying?
because I know like Drake. I feel like Drake's coach came to Drake. I'm talking about Drake University.
Yeah, because they won.
They won their first game, right? And I guess they had a whole bunch of D2 players.
Okay, because remember, I was saying, did the coach bring his players with him? And you was like, nah, we've been D1 for
Yeah.
10 years. It was the
Yeah.
Drake coach.
Right.
That was the story I had heard where he just got the job and he brought like 4 or 5 dudes with him
Right.
and they made a run.
And they had been winning chips at the D2 level.
Right, right. Because that was the story I had thought about when I asked you the last time. Did he bring his players with him? Because I had heard a story like that. But he was like, no, we've been D1 for 8 years. Them players would have been gone anyway. And I was
Right.
like, oh, yeah. But then I was like, I heard that somewhere. It was that Drake story.
Right.
That coach just got the job from D2 and brought all his dudes with him and they made a run.
Right. So I don't know that our days, because part of me when I was like, all right, them three dudes is graduating, they all had D2 roots. It's probably like, all right, this is gonna be a turn for our program where it's like, all right,
Absolutely.
we only messing
Probably the last of these kind of dudes.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Now we going on to a high caliber of player, but they
Right.
still gonna have to fit our profile.
Mm.
like Howell and your boy.
Right,
You know what
Rosslyn.
I'm saying? And Lusian or whatever. Like now, those are the kind of transfers we looking for. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Which is the logical evolution. Like it's still, and that's why I keep telling people. You look at the team picture of UCSD from the 90s, and you look at the team picture that won it, the dynamics have not changed. The demographics have not changed in 30 years. So it ain't gonna change next season. It's a
Right.
certain kind of player that plays at UCSD. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they still looking for, but now just on a higher caliber, a higher level. Like those two dudes are perfect example. Howell and your boy, like they understand the assignment. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
They
Right.
probably gonna bring in some more transfers to take over the role of Tate Jones and your boy. You know what I mean? But they probably gonna be white dudes. You know what I'm saying? That shoot the three. I mean, because like that's the kind of dude you can get into UCSD. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you probably just not gonna have be able to get a whole team of black players in there. Like I mean, I hate that we even have to say that, but that's you know they until they change their academics, which I don't see them doing anytime soon. You know what I'm saying? That's how the construction of the team gonna be. Which ain't clearly they figured that out.
Right. Nah, because even St. Mary's, I was watching St. Mary's yesterday, and they cost me. Um,
Mm,
I talked to you that I talked to you about that offline, but
right,
it was like, all right, they only had, I think they only had two black players,
right,
both light skinned dudes.
right. Nah,
Um, and
they very similar. They
right,
very similar. Because I
right,
think they got a religious aspect.
right,
We don't even have that.
right.
We just got the grades. They got the grades and a religious. That's like trying to get black dudes into BYU. Even though they got the number one recruit coming, you know what I'm saying?
And what?
Basketball.
They do?
Next year, a black dude that they paying $7 million to.
Wow.
Yeah. The number one high school recruit is a black dude going to BYU. And they said he's getting between 7 and 10 million. They dug into them church coffers. It was like, oh, we got money.
Uh, and that's a trip because I feel like that was my best call in my bracket. I had BYU to the Sweet 16. I
Mm,
think they got Alabama next, and I was like, yeah, they can't get Bama.
right,
Like as I've been watching them these first two games, like I hadn't really seen them all season. I just kind of followed their results, and I
right,
saw they was playing in Denver, and I was like, yeah, all them Mormons, they gonna
right,
they gonna deluge in Denver. They gonna be like, yeah, this is right over the hill.
right. And the altitude is perfect for them.
Mm. But they got like a 6'9" freshman point guard,
Mm, is that right?
and he nice. He white, and that's the thing. Like he's saying, even with Bennett, because he forever was just trying to get Australian dudes. Like he was always like that was his pipeline.
And that's what I was gonna say when you were saying that earlier. I was like, St. Mary's has always had that Australian pipeline.
Right.
I mean, kind of like from the rap days.
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
Yeah. Um,
he got Sharunas Marshall son.
right. Right.
That's crazy.
And not Tim Hardaway. He got Penny Hardaway's son.
Do we?
Yeah.
At St. Mary's?
Yes.
Mmm.
Trash. He's the
Wow.
dude I'm gonna rap to you about when we get off. He barely plays. He barely plays.
uh,
Like,
because if he was good, he'd be at Memphis.
and I remember when they said because he might have went to He might have went to Sierra Canyon.
Mm. Okay, because they get everybody's son.
Right. He might have went to Sierra Canyon. I remember hearing like, oh, he's going to St. Mary's. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. That's Randy Bennett.
Right,
Um,
right.
and yeah, he barely got runs.
Mm.
He got in garbage time yesterday and proceeded to trick some stuff off. But
Mm.
uh, yeah, whether because I saw somebody comment on your one of the team pics you posted and it was like, ain't many brothers on there.
Oh, yeah, that was my boy Oliver.
And you
And I post
responded with this year's picture.
right, and that's why I told him. I was like, the demographics ain't changed in 30 years, yo. Like, and it's not gonna change. You know what I'm saying? And to me though, that's what made me even more proud. Cause I feel like how and your boy, like they played how we played. Like they played those roles that we played. You know what I'm saying? Like I just feel like even the team, the way the team played was how it was when we was there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's crazy to me how that has not changed. Like, it's not like we look at the team now and be like, damn, that's us, but that's not us. Like you look at it like that's us and that's us. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like we was, you know what I mean? That's how it was. Like, and it didn't change at all, but they took it to that level and was hanging with Michigan.
Right. Nah, that's so true. I didn't even really think about it. I thought about the demographics when your boy said what he said and you responded. But I mean, even before that, I was like, yeah, that's a typical UCSD team
Right.
demographically. But then you're right. Even just thinking about the size, like low key, our squads was bigger than the squad they put out there against Michigan.
That game. Right. So you're right. Basically all between 6'4" and 6'8".
Right, right. Um, and it they looked they looked JV-ish, like especially if the
Mm.
game started and it's 10-0, 15-2 or whatever. It's like,
And they got 2 7-footers.
right,
And they was using them in the first half. You know what I'm saying? Making us look small. That's why we fouled 2 dudes out. They got us in foul trouble early.
right,
But we made that adjustment, which was also great on you showed a lot of dial on our part. You know what I mean? Showed good on the coach's part, showed good on the players' part. Like we figured something out. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. So
Which was very much like us. I don't know. It just it felt good to have it feel so like
familiar,
us.
right?
It wasn't like, oh damn, now they play like UNLV or you know what I mean? Like it was a you know what I mean? Like, damn, we could have never played in that system. You know what I'm saying? Like that's our alma mater, but that don't look nothing like how we used to look. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like it looked exactly the same, and like they had just taken it up to that level, and it was still working. You know
right,
what I'm saying?
right,
That's what made me love it even more. Like, yo, this team got 3 black dudes on it. Our team had 3 black dudes on it. And we played these similar roles. You know what I'm saying?
right,
The grimy dude on the boards, like one of us gonna be a defender, like you know what I mean?
right. Nah, all that. Um, yeah, man. My remark was it felt like losing the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
Um, just from the standpoint of the crash, because
Mm.
all that build up, hopeful, looking forward, being like, dude, this could be a 2 week, 3 week run, and for it all to come crashing down.
After a good game,
Right,
after a game where there's moments where you like, this is our chance to win it. You know what I'm saying? In both of those, the Super Bowl and the UCSD game, we had that moment like, yo, like when Cooks dropped that TD or when your boy broke it up, you know what I'm saying? It's like, man, it's not like we just went and got routed where it was like, okay, it is a crash because it's over, but we was never really in it. Like both games, you had that.
Right.
Which
Right.
I think made it even more painful. You know what I'm saying? Like if we had got there and got stomped in both the Super Bowl and that game, you'd have been like, all right, well, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We got here, but we never, the better team won. But in both instances, you was like, man. You know what I'm saying? So I was feeling that analogy. And my response was, I didn't feel like we got robbed in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
In this one, I feel like we got robbed. In the
Right.
Super Bowl, I feel like we just didn't finish the deal. Like you can't really point at no calls and nothing like that. We just didn't make the plays. And this one, I feel like our dudes was making the plays. Y'all wasn't giving us what we were supposed to get off that, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And my thought or response to that was like, all right, the Super Bowl's the Super Bowl. Like, ain't no game after that. Like, this was the first round of the tournament.
Right.
And so,
The Super Bowl is clearly bigger.
Right.
But
Right.
to us, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? It
Right.
don't get much bigger than this.
Right. Nah, and to have to watch like I didn't feel a whole lot watching Michigan play Texas A&M. I did to a degree, especially when they was getting flushed, which Texas A&M was flushing Michigan early. I was like, see, y'all shouldn't even be here. Like, this is
Right.
just the ball don't lie. Like,
Right.
y'all ain't supposed to be here. And then even as they went on and won, I didn't connect too much to UCSD and watching Michigan. But all that night after the game, all I could think about was, damn, dude. Like I remember Marlon saying, who y'all got winning this shit?
Oh
And
yeah.
you was like, fuck this tournament.
Yeah. I was like, this shit is rigged, man.
This tournament's dead to me.
Yeah. That's really how I felt. I was like, man, this rigged ass tournament, I don't want to win this shit anyway.
Well,
That's honestly how I felt, man. I still feel like that. Shit.
really, yeah.
I mean, I've started watching games, but the next day or so, I was like, man, they stole this from us. Michigan shouldn't even be here, yo.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
But
But nah,
shit.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, so you want to do your final four before we get off?
Yeah, I mean, Duke has looked the best. I got Florida to win it against Duke. I
Mm.
got Michigan State coming out of the region UCSD was in.
Mm.
And then I had Illinois as my fourth team. Like I couldn't roll with Houston. Like I've picked Houston to win it. Not last year or the year before, because I actually was on UConn both years. But I've had Houston in other tournaments, and they just flame out. So I
Right.
couldn't ride with them this year. So I ended up taking Illinois to come out. But my final was UCSD. I wish my final was Florida versus Duke, with Florida winning it.
Mm. Okay. And then who do you say your other two was?
Michigan State was going to beat Auburn in our region. I think that's the South. And
Right.
then I had Illinois, the whatever.
That's the Midwest?
Midwest is where Houston is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fucked that whole bracket up. Like I had a bunch of crazy shit happening and ain't none of it happened.
I'm about to say, and it ended up being the chalk. The top four seeds is in it.
Right.
Okay. So I'm gonna take Michigan State to come out the South. Tennessee to come out the Midwest,
Ooh.
and then the East.
Dukies or Alabama.
Right. That's a tough call. Ugh.
You just hate Duke.
Yeah, that too. But Alabama's real. I'm telling you, the SEC, they got 7 of the 16.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. I don't know if that's ever happened.
Right.
7 of the 16. Because I mean, I got Florida. Florida, remember from the beginning, I said I think Florida gonna win it. So I'm gonna have them coming out the West. I just don't know if I want to take Bama to just go ahead and do it for the SEC out the East. Yeah, give me Bama. So I'm
I
gonna go
love it.
Florida, Bama, Michigan State, and Tennessee. I got 3 SEC schools in the 4 and Michigan State.
You would
Uh,
have to beat Auburn. You could, if
I could have 4.
your scenario play out, it could be all SEC.
Right. Nah, because remember during the conference tournament, they're like, this might be better than the Final Four.
Nah, I think that would be them same 4 teams.
Uh, uh,
It would be them
wow.
same foe.
The SEC Final Four could be the NCAA Final Four.
Yeah, I
Wow.
know the Big East had 3 in the Final Four back in like '85.
St. John's, Georgetown, and Nova.
Right. I don't think no other conference has had more than 2
Mm,
since then. So obviously, ain't no conference had all 4.
right.
So that
Which
would
they
be
have the chance to do. But I like Michigan State. I really like this Michigan State team. I feel like this is a patented Izzo team. They look like what Izzo like to put together. You know what I'm saying? And he coming to the end. So, he gonna be on his A coaching wise because he don't know how many more he gonna get.
right. Nah, I got them. I don't know why. Who did Auburn play yesterday? That I ended up watching a little bit of. Shit. I think they played Creighton. And Creighton was cool. Like in past years, I have fucked with Creighton, but I didn't this
Mm,
year. I took
mm.
Creighton to lose the first round to Louisville. Um, but I don't know. I've whatever reason I got off of Auburn's. I was never on a bandwagon, but I never was sold to the point where they was the number 1 overall seed and all the accolades they was getting. I know their conference was dope, but
Right.
um,
Nah, to me, they the one team in the SEC that got some Jekyll and Hyde to them. Their A
yeah,
is way up, but they floor is way low too. You know what I'm saying? Like Florida, I feel like it's hard to beat them because even their bad game is a good game. I feel like Auburn can have some games that can get them beat, but then their best games they can beat anybody. They have. You know what I'm saying? So that's
right.
why I haven't been really sold on them like that.
Yeah, I don't feel they big dude. Like they big
Mm.
dude. It was a big dude. His last name was Robinson. He was at Kansas. I want to say
Mm.
one of the years they lost to North Carolina. He was like a 6'9" dude. Ended up either first or second player of the year. Anyway, Thomas Robinson, I think his
Oh
name.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, do remind you of him?
Yeah, just he a serviceable big, but they making it seem like he
He league.
right, right, and he gonna do work in the league. I'm like, dude, that's
This is a college
Jackson.
player.
Right, that's Jackson Hayes.
Mm.
Like that's Jackson Hayes at his max.
Max. Right.
Like he might max out at, and not even the Jackson Hayes as we got this year. Like the Jackson Hayes that was on.
That allowed us to get him. The Jackson Hayes that made him available to us
Right.
is dude's max.
Right.
And y'all talking about him as a top 5 pick.
Right. I'm like, yeah, he cool. His numbers is cool, but he ain't a transcendent dude. Like Cooper Flag is transcendent. Like
Right.
you watch him and it's like, all right,
Right.
that's gonna translate. Like they
Right. You
gonna
can
have
build around that.
right. And he was giving it to the Olympic team in the summer.
Right. And he's only 18.
Right. All
He
that.
not he not one of these old freshmen, you know what I'm saying? Dalton Connect is 24. Cooper Flag gonna be on his second contract by then, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. So now, I took Auburn to get to the Elite Eight and lose to Michigan State, but I wouldn't be surprised.
If they lost before
They got
that,
Michigan now.
right.
Right?
And then that was set up Michigan State.
Oh,
I mean, this is a narrative-based tournament.
right. Nah, that would be dope. And that would
Right.
prevent the Big Ten from having all four. Because they got 4 teams left.
Mm.
But Michigan and Michigan State is in the same bracket.
Right. Right. And the
Um,
Big Ten ain't won it in a minute.
right. Yeah. Damn near as bad as the West Coast.
Right.
Like they barely got us beat. They got us beat. We probably had 28 years since winning it, and they had like 25.
5. Right. Yeah, no, I think we last won it in 97. They won it in 2000.
Right.
AZ in 97, Michigan State in 2000.
Izzo's only one.
Right. Well, yeah. All right. Well, we got our Final Fours locked in. You know what I'm saying? We recapped the UCSD. So I feel like this is probably a good jumping off point. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Thank everybody that's been watching, man. Thank everybody that's been commenting. You know what I'm saying? You guys subscribe, like, share. You know, we're going to keep trying to pump them out, man. Kareem Matthews, that's my boy Rodney Lusian. Thank you guys again.